Hi, I'm Kelly Becker, and I'm a product manager at Ancestry. I work primarily on AncestryDNA matches. This is AncestryDNA 102, Tips for Using AncestryDNA Matches to Make Family History Discoveries. This is a beginner's class. In this class, we'll be talking about what are AncestryDNA matches, what can you do with them, and why they are an important part of your family history research. Here's the agenda. We're going to be talking about what are your AncestryDNA matches. We're also going to be talking about ways that you can discover how you're related to them, ways you can use filtering and search to get to the matches you care about most quickly, messaging your matches, and privacy. First, let's talk about what are your AncestryDNA matches. When you take an AncestryDNA test, you are matched to the DNA of other AncestryDNA test takers. Your AncestryDNA matches are other AncestryDNA members that share identical DNA with you. They are genetically related to you. These are your relatives. The identical DNA you share with your matches is inherited from an ancestor that you share. This means that you are related to all of your AncestryDNA matches through an ancestor. It could be an ancestor that's as close as your parents. If you've had your brother or sister tested, your most common ancestor to them would be your parents, or you could be related to your matches through an ancestor as distant as a fifth great grandparent. AncestryDNA matches are an important part of your family history research because they can help you discover who your ancestors are, and in turn, help you learn more about them and the lives they lived or are living. Your DNA matches know the stories of your family. Let's get started by looking at a sample view of AncestryDNA matches. A key piece to unlocking your family history discoveries is to understand how you may be related to your AncestryDNA matches. So let's take a look at this view. One of the first things to look at are the names or profile pictures of your AncestryDNA matches. Do you recognize any of the people listed? And if so, do you know your relationship to them? This feature is being tested right now on Ancestry. So if you don't have access to this feature right now in AncestryDNA matches, don't worry, it will be coming to you soon. So as you're looking at your matches, you're looking to see if you recognize someone. And if you do, you can select yes under the question, do you know them? This will allow you to assign your match to a family side, your mother's side or father's side, and then also ask you what the actual relationship you share to this match is. Like, this is my cousin or my aunt. Labeling your matches with those that you are related to on your mother's side and father's side is an important step to your family history discovery because it starts to let you see which match can tell you what about which side of your family, and also labeling your matches with mother's side, father's side for those that you know will help you figure out how you're related to more distant matches, and we'll get to that in a second. Don't worry if you don't recognize any of your matches, though. There are other clues that can help you understand how you're related to them. If you don't recognize a match, you can select Not Sure, and that will take you to a page where you can get more information about your match, including information that's going to help you understand which side of the family they might be related to you on. You can look for clues in shared matches. A great way to figure out how you might be related to your match is to look at the shared matches. These are matches that you share with your match. You might recognize a match that you share, and if you know who that match is, like if this shared match is on my mother's side or father's side, then you can assume that the match you're trying to evaluate is also most likely related to you on that side of the family. You can also look for surnames and info that might be familiar to you. So maybe there is a surname in one of your shared matches that you recognize. Once you have decided that you know if a match is related to you on your mother's side or father's side, you can click the Add Relationship button at the top of this page to assign a side, mother's side or father's side, to that match. There are also clues, like I said, in surnames and family trees. If your DNA match has created a public Ancestry family tree, you'll be able to see information your match has added about her family that might help you in discovering how you're related. You'll also be able to see this 5-generation tree preview of their family tree and a list of surnames that can often appear in their tree. Surnames are a great clue to identifying if a match is related to you on your mother or father's side of the family. You might recognize a surname that you know is on one side of the family or the other. Once you make that discovery, again, you can just click Add Relationship at the top of the page and say, yep, I understand how I'm related to this match. They're on my mother's side or father's side because I recognize a surname. Once you've figured out whether a match is on your mother's side or your father's side through looking at the surnames like we talked about, looking at the shared matches, the next step is to figure out how you are related to that match exactly. You'll want to figure this out. This will help you place your matches in your family tree, which will then start to unlock discoveries about the ancestors that connect you. So let's go back to this match list that we were looking at before. Ancestry lists your matches in order of the closeness of relationship, which is based on the amount of identical DNA you share. And Ancestry tries to label the matches with the relationship it believes you share based on this amount of DNA. So if you had a parent or child that took an AncestryDNA test, they would show up first, parent, child, and be labeled as such. And the amount of DNA you share with them would be shown as about 50%. This is because you share 50% of your DNA with your parents, and likewise your children inherit 50% of their DNA from their parents. 50% of DNA is the highest amount of DNA that you can share with a match, that unless you have an identical twin. In addition to being expressed as a percentage, identical DNA is also shown as a centimorgan, which is a unit of measurement. The higher the number of centimorgans, the closer the relationship. Ancestry can label a parent-child or full sibling relationship with nearly 100% accuracy, but matches that share less DNA than full siblings could share a few different relationships. For example, matches labeled close family first cousin could actually be an aunt or an uncle, a half sibling, a niece, a nephew, or a grandparent. So to see what the possible relationships are for each match, you can click on the amount of shared DNA and see a relationship probability chart. This chart shows the percentage of time a match shares a specific relationship to you. Adding your match to your family tree can help you see which relationship is actually accurate if you don't already know it. It can give you hints whether you are on the right track. It's really important to use this chart to see what are the possible relationships that might connect you to your matches. Because Ancestry's predicted relationship, as I mentioned earlier, is just a prediction based on the amount of DNA you share. Common ancestors. I mentioned before that looking at your matches and family trees can give you a lot of information about your relationship. To make it easy to find which of your matches have family trees, you can look at this column here. Large trees have more than 50 people of them, and most of the information about how you might be related. But small trees can also have information. If your matches don't have trees or they have a private tree, you can still look at their shared matches for clues. So here are the column that shows the status of their tree. If you have a tree that is linked to your DNA test, you can link your DNA test to your tree in DNA settings. You might see a label called Common Ancestors appear. Common ancestors are people that connect you to your DNA matches through your matches family trees and your trees. Clicking on these matches will show you the names of the ancestors that we think connect you to each other. You can click on the name of the ancestor to see the way Ancestry believes that you are related. This feature is powered by Throughlines, and you can go to class 103, Throughlines and Custom Groups, to learn more about common ancestors and Throughlines, which is the technology that powers that feature. Filters and search. We want you to be able to find the matches you're most interested in exploring quickly. So we have filters at the top of the page that let you sort your match by the things that you're looking for. The most popular filters are unviewed, common ancestors, family trees, and groups. Unviewed lets you see matches you have not viewed yet. So this is how you would discover new matches that are matched to you. Common ancestors, as we discussed, is a popular filter if you have your tree linked to your DNA test, because it allows you to see the matches that Ancestry believes has found a common ancestor you share. Family trees is popular as it lets you get right to the matches that that have a lot of information about your family potentially, because they have a family tree. And groups lets you filter your matches by your mother's side or your father's side, which is a great way to start to break your matches apart. If you have your parent tested, those matches will be labeled with your mother's side or father's side already for you. But if you don't have your parents tested, you can add the mother's side, father's side label through the feature we talked about earlier. You can also search through your matches by their name or surnames and birth locations found in their tree. So you click search here, you can search for a match if you know their name, or you can search for a surname if you're looking for someone who might share your surname, or you can look inside of your matches trees, your matches that have trees, to see which matches have the surname you're looking for or the birth location you're looking for in their trees. So if you're searching for a specific surname, you can say, show me all the matches that might have this surname in their tree. So this is a really powerful tool for looking at the information your matches might know about your family. Messaging is a free and a great tool for communicating with your matches and seeing what they know about your family and your ancestors. Knowing which side of the family you're related to on your matches will help guide your conversation as well. So if you are messaging someone you know is on your mother's side of the family, you can say something like, hi, I discovered you're my great aunt on my mother's side. What can you tell me about my grandparents, my grandmother? So using what you've learned about your match so far and that side of the family in context to the message will improve the chances that your match will reply to you and understand what kind of information you're looking for. So messaging is a great tool. It's free, and you should use that as a way to get information from your matches. Last thing I wanted to touch on here is privacy. Your AncestryDNA matches, like I mentioned earlier, are genetically related to you. They're your family. Sometimes there can be surprises that you aren't expecting. So if you are someone who does not want to be seen by your AncestryDNA matches, you can go into DNA settings and opt out of being seen by your DNA matches. When you do this, you also will not be able to see your DNA matches. So know that that's something that will happen when you do that. All of the features we went through today on AncestryDNA matches are available on our desktop site, but also on our apps. So inside of the AncestryDNA app and the Ancestry app, which are in the app stores for iOS and Android, the AncestryDNA matches features that we just went over are also available to you there. So you can access your matches at any time, at any place. Thank you so much for attending this class. I hope that you found some great ways to use your AncestryDNA matches, understand how you're related to them, see how they can help you make family history discoveries by finding out what side of the family they're on, finding out how you're related to them, and reaching out to them for more information. Thank you so much.